What's up, everyone? Swinging Bull here with PB Alerts. Welcome to my earnings stream I do every week. It's Wednesday. We had FOMC today. Of course, they left the interest rates unchanged. Market kind of caught a little bit of a bid. It was a little choppy when he was talking, but ultimately wicked up to almost 564. SPY did. Q's also made a high day as well. So yeah, looking good over here. What's up, Cools? What's up, Gabriels, Breckle? Everyone on Discord hanging out with us. So it is the companies that are reporting. We'll just go over that real quick. It's going to be ARM. So ARM Holdings. They report at 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Forecast EPS 0.53. Forecast revenue 1.23 billion. They're trading just above their anchored VWAP. Anchored VWAP, low 120s around there. And they closed the regular session at 124.21. So they were actually up 1.4% on the day. Sitting here in after hours, waiting for the earnings data. They report, again, at 4:05 p.m. Eastern. So we just got a few more minutes until they report. IONQ is the other one. They also report at 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Their forecast EPS negative 0.28. Forecast revenue 7.5 million. And they're trading. They were also trading above their anchored VWAP a little bit. Anchored VWAP around $24 probably. The next one is, there's three today. So Carvana is also reporting. I know some people follow them. So that's today, of course, at 4:10 p.m. Eastern. So we'll get ARM first. We'll get ARM and IONQ earnings results first. And then 5 minutes after that, we'll get Carvana. Okay. And also don't forget, we have our second annual Traders Paradise in-person event. This year it's in Chicago. It's going to be at the Hyatt Regency. That's June 9th through the 12th. And I'll talk more about that later. Let's go back to the candlesticks and see what's going on. All right, ARM's getting some pre-earnings movement here. Maybe the results are out already. We'll see. They're down in after hours about 6.5%. Let me check my other screen and see if that data maybe is out already. Okay, also the implied move for ARM is around 7 to 8%. It's about a $9 move. So we'll see what they end up, what the reaction is going to end up being. Let me check a couple other things. I don't see that the data's out yet. Let me double check something else. And of course, we already went over the expected numbers for them. EPS 0.52, revenue 1.23 billion. But it's getting a negative reaction, so maybe the data's out. Let me, still waiting on IONQ. And I got Carvana pulled up on my Webull chart over here, so still waiting on them. But I'll go back to trading view just for a sec here. And let me scroll down. Okay, the results are in. The results are in for ARM. Okay, I got a nice little graphic right here. So their, again, forecast EPS was 0.52. Came in at 0.55, so they beat by 6%. Revenue, 1.23 billion was the forecast. Came in at 1.24 billion, so they beat revenue by 1%. Let's see here. Yeah, Breckle, when you get that screen, just hit close stream and it should pop up. This Discord tech issue. EPS on ARM up 53% year over year, revenue up 34% year over year, EPS up 41% quarter over quarter, revenue up 26% quarter over quarter. I mean, just based off of year over year, quarter over quarter, and EPS and revenue numbers, I mean, it looks like good data. I'm assuming it's probably safe to say that they're selling off because of guidance, right? We all know that. So let me see if I can maybe get some information regarding the guidance. what a lot of companies have been doing recently is withholding their guidance because of the tariff uncertainty. Let's look at a few other things real quick. I'll go back over here to Webull just for a second. Going into the earnings, they had a PE of 139. Geez, that's pretty high. I have to cross-check that with their peers and competitors to see where they fall on the PE range. But EPS 0.75. They don't pay a dividend. Free float 131 million. That's from ARM. As far as profitability, ARM is a profitable company. They've been profitable back-to-back quarters, 5 quarters in a row, kind of ranging from like 100 million in positive net income to like 250 million positive net income. It's kind of like their net income range there. Debt to asset only 24%, so that's really good for ARM. Again, though, negative reaction. Carvana is starting to get a reaction here. They're getting a little bit of a positive reaction. So it is 4:06 p.m. Eastern. So Carvana's data should be out. Let me just double check here. ARM 405. IONQ's 405. Carvana says 410, but maybe it got released early. IONQ is not really moving yet, so I don't know if IONQ's data is even out. Let me check Carvana just for a second. Go back to my sticks on Webull. So Carvana's being pretty volatile right now. Wicked up to 264, almost 265. Then came down to 250. Like a 15-point spread there. Then came back up to kind of baseline, and now it's just kind of hanging out here. I mean, there's sell side imbalance on the order book, so we'll see. It's flickering quite a bit, so we'll let that settle down and see which direction it ends up going. I'm not seeing any data on Carvana yet, so I don't think that's out yet. Let me check IONQ, and also let me go back here just for a second. Okay, here's some information from AlphaSense regarding ARM. Let me go back there real quick. ARM's down $10 a share. They're down 8% right now. Total revenue rose 34% year over year. We already talked about that. Royalty revenues rose 18% year over year. Okay. Let's see. A couple statements from the higher up. ARM delivered record-breaking results for both the fourth quarter and the full fiscal year ending in 2025. We surpassed $1 billion in revenue for the first time in Q4, driven by increased deployment of our CSS platforms across AI data center, cloud compute, and mobile. As AI growth from the cloud to the edge creates demand for more energy-efficient computers, ARM will enable AI everywhere. Okay, so not really anything about guidance yet. There is, let's see here. Okay, I see what happened. They lowered their outlook. So they did lower guidance. The estimate for the guidance was for EPS was 0.42. It got lowered to 0.34. That's not good at all. Also for sales, the estimate was 1.09 billion, and they lowered that to 1.05 billion. So, you know, the graphic that I was showing everyone earlier, it looks good, right? They beat top line, they beat bottom line. So they beat EPS, they beat revenue. They had really good year over year and quarter over quarter numbers, but the variable was the guidance, and they lowered that. They lowered guidance on EPS and sales. Thanks, Shai Balor, for posting that for me. So that's the deal with ARM. They lowered guidance, even though everything else was pretty good data. So we're just gonna have to wait and see if it starts bottoming out. Not all doom and gloom for the ARM bulls. Maybe this could be a discount because, you know, like I say, this is a negative reaction because of guidance, but overall their numbers were good as far as EPS and revenue from what they just reported. But they lowered the guide. Investors don't like that. That's why it's selling off. So let me post the ARM info on the bottom of my screen on YouTube. So anyone tuning in for ARM earnings, I at least get you the EPS and revenue here. I'll show it on the bottom of my screen. There you go. So everyone can see that. Let's go back to, I want to check IONQ real quick again. Okay. Go back to trading view. Okay, IONQ. Not really much going on there. It's just kind of hanging out. So it's 4:10 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have, the data must not be out yet. So just give me a second. As soon as it comes out, I'll post that for everyone. Same thing with Carvana. Carvana's not really moving. I mean, it was being real volatile there. The last 5-minute candle, it was printing big, huge wicks on both sides of the candle. So lots of indecision there. Carvana did, their data's out. Okay, I got it right here. So they're saying record net income of 373 million. And they're also saying for the outlook, looking toward the second quarter, Carvana expects a sequential increase in both retail units sold, leading to all-time company records. The company remains on track to deliver significant growth in both retail units. Okay. In Q1, Carvana set a new record for retail units while also driving record profitability and hitting our highest customer net promoter score in nearly 3 years. That was said by Ernie Garcia. He's the founder and CEO of Carvana. We're incredibly well positioned for the path ahead and have very clear visibility to even stronger financial performance, much larger scales, and even better customer experiences. Let me see if I can get something. Okay, let me show you this for Carvana because they beat EPS by a ton, by a bunch. Look at this. EPS, the forecast was 0.65. They posted a 1.51 EPS, beat by 132%. They're also getting a negative reaction though, so it's probably going to be the guidance again. The forecast revenue was $4 billion on the dot, and the actual numbers that came in 4.23 billion. So they beat that by 6%. Year-over-year numbers and quarter-over-quarter numbers. I mean, EPS is triple-digit growth, revenue double-digit growth. But again, even though all this is fine and dandy and it looks good, just gonna have to wait and see. Let me see if I got something about the guidance. Hold on. Okay, so Carvana announces record first quarter results. We got that. Let me check something else. We already know what's going on with ARM. They lowered guidance, and that's it. That's why it's getting a negative reaction. But could be looked at as maybe a discount because nonetheless, their EPS and revenue year over year and quarter over quarter was really good. Let me post the Carvana earnings on the bottom of my screen on YouTube so everyone can see that. And kind of just peeking at ARM every now and then, seeing if it's trying to form a bottom or not. These are 5-minute candles, by the way. Carvana did have a 13% expected move. Let me see here. Okay. Got some funny comments on the Discord over here. All right, so Carvana is still kind of volatile, I have to say. It keeps wicking down and then kind of coming up. Let me post the Carvana earnings on the bottom of my screen. There we go. You can see it right there. Revenue came in 4.23 billion. Estimate was 4 billion. EPS $1.51. Forecast was 65 cents. So they smashed EPS triple digits. Let me look at some other things real quick. It's about 4:15 p.m. Eastern. Let's go to IONQ real quick. Okay, IONQ getting a negative reaction too so far. They wicked down to 28.66 just now. They closed the regular session at 29.14. They were down about 1% on the day, down almost 1% in after hours as well. So let's see what else we got here. TrendSpider posted some info. We already went over all that, so we're good there. Let's look at the outlook. So the thing is they provided an outlook, but it doesn't look like they reduced the outlook. They just say looking toward the second quarter, Carvana expects a sequential increase in both retail units sold and they don't really go into specifics. It says company remains on track to deliver significant growth. Okay, new management objective. After 4 consecutive quarters of over 30% retail unit growth, the company announced its next management objective, and that's to sell 3 million retail units per year. Okay, gotcha. Let me look at some other things real quick. All right, most info I'm seeing is everything I've pretty much already gone over. IONQ sitting up here at right where it closed. Basically sitting at break even from when it closed. We'll go back to Carvana just real quick. Yeah, Carvana's still sitting down here. ARM maybe trying to bottom out. Again, these are 5-minute candles and kind of printing some dojis after these big red ones. So this maybe the sellers are out of gas now. Could be reversal. It looks like it could be. Let me take a look, see how far it's retraced down. Let me see. Okay, so it's kind of still sitting down here at the bottom. I'd like ARM to get back above 116. That's 25% retracement right there. That would be ideal, at least to break the ice to, maybe it starts retracing back up, right? But we definitely got some levels to breach before my confidence starts building on that. Specifically, 116 would probably be R1, resistance 1, R2, 117.50, R3, 119. Unless those levels get retraced, I'm not going to have much confidence that it's going to go back up soon, as far as remainder of after hours price action. But, we got about 3.5 more hours for after hours action. So like I say, it needs to get back above 116, then 117.50 and 119, just some simple fib levels for everyone, easy to remember. I'd like to see those 3 levels start breaking, and then maybe my confidence will go up that it is in fact going to retrace. Because let's just be realistic. ARM overall is a good company. Okay, they are a profitable company, and they just they lowered guidance, and we saw the negative reaction. So this could be a discount. I mean, again, it closed the regular session $124 and some change, sitting down here at 114. It's a 10-point move. That could be a 10-point discount on the stock, right? I think overall, ARM's going to be just fine. Financially and fundamentally, I think they're a sound company. Just they lowered guidance. Investors don't like that, so we're seeing a pullback. So before you, not financial advice, but if it was me, before you try and take advantage of this discount, let's maybe wait for some higher lows. We might miss some of the uptrend just to kind of confirm that the bottom's in, but I'd rather sacrifice a little bit of the discount to make sure we're not catching a falling knife, right? So, but it does look like the sellers kind of ran out of gas for the time being. There is a buy side imbalance on the order book now, so there are buyers buying this dip right now. So we'll see. We're just going to kind of keep our eye on it, see what happens. Back to Carvana, definitely selling off. This one's down almost $13 a share. And like I said, they had great results as far as EPS and revenue, sales, year over year, quarter over quarter numbers. Great. It's the guidance. That's what's killing these companies. Not killing the companies, but you know what I mean. That's what's causing negative reactions anytime they lower the guidance. So let's just take a look at some other things here. All right. Anton, Twitter, just reported should be a fader tomorrow, run up into QT earnings. All right, let's take a look at some other things here. Here's some good info here. So Q2 2025 outlook. It doesn't look like they lowered the guidance, at least for Q2. Expect sequential increase in retail units sold. We already talked about that. Guidance implies new all-time company records on both metrics. So it doesn't look like they lowered guidance. They're just not They're just getting a negative reaction here. Let me look at some other things real quick. Okay, and they did have all-time low short interest going into this earnings. They do have a strong institutional flow, but low volume on rising prices sets up potential pullbacks. That was from S3 Partners. So, you know, that's probably what it was, the run up with low volume. Let's go. Okay, we got people crying on Twitter because they bought calls on Carvana. Hey, like I said, you're gonna trade through the earnings. You know, better be a lotto play because these things, it's a toss up. It truly is a toss up. They could smash EPS, they could smash revenue, just like Carvana did. And lo and behold, negative reaction. So sometimes it's just a gamble. So usually when I trade through earnings, I just use profits from a previous trade. That way I'm not really risking anything. And it's zero or hero with these earnings trades, right? So just got to be careful, trade your portfolio accordingly. Again, not financial advice, but you got to try and be safe with your money because, you know, this tariff uncertainty is not over yet. We're not out of the woods yet with this tariff stuff. Everyone saw the markets kind of rally yesterday. Go back to SPY just for a little bit. You see it rally right here in after hours yesterday. And that was because the optimism increased that U.S. and China were going to meet for the trade deal talks. And, you know, that's kind of just what's going on right now. We're not out of the woods with the tariff stuff yet. But obviously, when the U.S. and China do agree on a trade deal, it's bullish for the markets, of course. And we've already seen that. Anytime any little bit of news drops about a potential meeting for the U.S.-China deal, the market has rallied, and it's just kind of like anticipating. And then when the deal finally does get done, I think it's going to be pretty bullish for the markets, personally. Carvana expected to report $4 billion revenue. Well, we already know that. They already reported, and they reported $4.23 billion, so they beat revenue. Let me go to IONQ just for a second because that was the other one. IONQ just kind of sitting here flat. ARM about to make a new after hours low, so that bottom was not in yet, folks. So I'm gonna have to, well, we'll see. I mean, it did just make a new after hours low at 113.06. The low before that. Let me get rid of this fib because kind of get invalidated if it's just going to keep making lower lows on after hours. But the previous low was like 113. What was it? 113.10. It just hit 113.06, so it is still making lower lows. Kind of a little dead cat bounce on that 5-minute green candle. It just printed before the candle it's printing right now. So that's exactly what I mean. You know, that's why my confidence wasn't building that this is retracing until some of those levels got broken on the fib. And obviously the fib's been invalidated right now. So as soon as it looks like it's starting to make a bottom again, I'll draw another fib on there. But if it keeps making lower lows and after hours, we're going to have to keep adjusting things until it finally settles down and bottoms. I'm going to put the ARM holdings on the bottom of my YouTube screen, the ARM earnings results, because I know most people are here for that. Got almost over 500 people tuning in. It looks like mostly Twitter, probably a handful on YouTube and Twitch. Let's see here. Yeah, we got some people that aren't really Carvana fans. Okay, let's take a look at something else here. All right, so we got the reaction on ARM. We got the reaction on Carvana. Both of them negative reactions. Wait for a bottom to form, then go ahead and pop a Fibonacci on there. See where some of these mathematical levels are at, these retracement levels. Obviously, keep your eye on where the golden ratio level is. That would be a good level to watch as well as far as retracements go. A break over the golden ratio, which would be about the 61.8% retrace. Break back above that, my confidence will definitely be there that these things are going to be clawing back this selling. But there's still a lot for these candles to do before that even is a possibility here. So ARM trying to bottom out at 113. It's trying, but we're still waiting because it's still kind of bottom feeding right now. It's very well there could be another impulse down, another leg down. Maybe we'll see. Order book's kind of balanced out right now, so there's a little tug of war going on with buyers and sellers right now on ARM. So we're just gonna have to be patient and wait. Carvana trying to form a bottom, possibly. Not really. I'd like to see a 5-minute print, candle close. There's about 4.5 minutes left on the current 5-minute print, so we'll wait on that. Let me go back to TradingView. IONQ, nothing really going on with it. There's just nothing going on with IONQ. I don't know if this is going to be a big nothing burger for them or what. Let me see if I got some data. IONQ to acquire LightSyncQ to accelerate quantum computing, networking, and scale toward millions of qubits. Okay, we're finally getting a reaction on IONQ. Positive reaction, up 1% in after hours. It's a 5-minute candle here, so let's see. Okay, IONQ earnings are out. Let me go ahead and share this with everybody. We already went over ARM. We already went over Carvana. IONQ, here we go. EPS. The forecast on EPS was negative 0.30. They came in negative 0.14, so they beat by over 50%, even though it's still a negative number, but they beat forecast pretty good on EPS there. Revenue 7.51 million was the expected number, and the reported number 7.56 million, so they beat that by 1%. EPS 26% year over year in the green. Revenue was down year over year. EPS up 85% quarter over quarter, so doing a real good job with earnings per share. Revenue, not so much as far as year over year, quarter over quarter goes, but nonetheless, they're getting a positive reaction here. I wonder if they raised guidance a little bit. Let's take a look. All right, let's see. So we went over the EPS, we went over the revenue. It does look like there's some buyers in the picture, obviously. I mean, he closed the regular session at 29.14, sitting here at 30.25, up a little over $1. It's almost 4% gain on IONQ and after hours. So it's getting positive reaction so far. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. Yeah, and also IONQ announced plans for its first space-based quantum key distribution network. A little bit of a mouthful there, but it seems to be a big deal. And also them acquiring LightSync, I think that's how you pronounce it, LightSync. That's expediting quantum computing, quantum internet, and offering clear path to millions of qubits. That's why I think they're probably getting a positive reaction here, because they're about to acquire another company, and it's really going to help them with the quantum computing aspect. So they're definitely getting a positive reaction because of that. And let's just see some bullet points here we can go over. IONQ announced $22 million deal with EPB, including the sale of a new enterprise to establish first commercial quantum computing and network hub. All right, so that's the first bullet point. That's definitely nice for them. Pending acquisition of the LightSync technologies to accelerate both quantum internet and quantum computing roadmap. That's another big one that investors are probably liking a lot. Strong continued expansion of quantum networking initiative via closing acquisition of ID Quantique in agreement to acquire Capella. Yeah, they're definitely going out and trying to expand, that's for sure. Selected for first stage of DARPA's quantum benchmarking initiative. Demonstrated narrow commercial advantage on stage at NVIDIA GTC Quantum Day with ANSYS. Held cash and equivalents of $697.1 million as of March 31st. That's some good cash they got on hand there. So they're expanding. They're showing growth. Investors are loving it. It's got a positive reaction. Let me just scroll back up real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. Give me 1 second here. I'll go ahead and post the IONQ data on the bottom of my screen on YouTube so everyone can see that and take a screenshot of that if they want to. Okay. Put that on the bottom of YouTube. Juan Gomez on YouTube. How you doing? Good to see you. Glad you came to the show to hang out with us. We'll go back to Discord. Ninja888 on Discord. Thoughts on Dash? Yeah, we can take a look at Dash real quick. I'm gonna keep IONQ on the right. Our ARM's still trying to find a bottom, so there's really not much going on there as far as the bulls are concerned, because until it finds a bottom, that's, you know, we gotta wait. Yeah, we'll take a look at Dash real quick and just kind of see what's going on the bigger time frames, perhaps. Let's see. Okay, did they just had earnings? Yeah, they had earnings yesterday. Dash had earnings yesterday. They let's see. EPS reported at 0.44. The forecast was only 0.39, so they beat EPS by 12%, a little over 12%. They did miss revenue by 2%, but that's okay. So things kind of came in line. I mean, EPS they beat by 12%, so that's good. They didn't miss revenue by too much. Daily chart, yeah. So they just kind of been chopping around. DoorDash has since February. Lots of ping pong action going on lately with this stock. So kind of makes you think, you know, it kind of hasn't really picked a direction yet, kind of trading in the range, if you will. You know, obviously I would think, if it falls below, let me pull this up on Webull just real quick. Sometimes the candles on TradingView are a little wacky. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so I probably wouldn't, you know, support in the bigger picture, 155. I don't like it below 155. This thing loses 155. I'd probably go to the low 100s again, but 155 is probably a must for support for it to hold. It's about 20 points below where the stock's trading at now. So it's at like maybe 10 to 15% from where it's at now. So yeah, I wouldn't like it below there. That was an area of demand back in April. Ended up running to $207 after that. That was like a 52-point move right there. That was April 7th to May 5th. So that's literally only 1 month of price action. This thing ran over 50 points. That would be probably where the deal's at for the stock right now. It looks like they obviously probably got a negative reaction to earnings. They reported yesterday. Once everything was digested, it, you know, we got investors selling this thing off today. So it's at 176 now. There could be some support maybe in the upper 160s. Maybe look for there for S1. See if it can pull back from there. If you're a believer in DoorDash and you're a long-term believer in them, you know, this could be a good discount. Okay, this thing was trading at $207 3 days ago, down here in the 170s. So S1, I'd probably call S1 like 169. You just call it 170 if you want, nice even number. So like upper 160s to 170s, probably S1. S2, 155. Below that, you know, there's no telling where it'll land, but you definitely want 155 to hold on this one. But again, S1, I say 170, S2, 155. Resistance, you know, they do have a gap to the upside now. So this is unresolved price action. This was just from 2 days ago. It gapped down. Top of that gap goes to 201 and some change. So, you know, for the upside, I'd like for it to get back. I'd say back above 190, which is today's high. So just use the daily candle on Dash. Would like for this to get back above 190. That could be some resistance there, possibly. Of course, the bottom of this gap, right around 195, could be resistance there. If it can break through into the gap territory, probably will end up filling pretty quickly as soon as it breaks into that gap area. But yeah, obviously investors kind of took their earnings negatively, but overall they do have a positive PE ratio. They do have a positive EPS, free float 394. They've been profitable 3 quarters in a row. 1, 2, 3. Q2 of 2024, they kind of took a little hit there. Lost a little bit of money in Q1. But it looks like they're, and on the annual view, they really weren't a profitable company dating back to 2020 as far as positive net income goes. It looks like last year, fiscal year 2024, they finally were able to become profitable. Okay. And that's when we're going to zoom into the quarterly view. And it looks like for the bulk of 2024, excluding Q2, they had a bad quarter that quarter. But they're coming off of back-to-back profitable quarters, 3 in a row now. Year-over-year numbers look pretty good. Debt to assets only 38%, so that's good. So, they're not a bad company, in my opinion. I've seen a lot worse. I wouldn't even call them a bad company. They're a good company. I think their financials and fundamentals have been improving, especially if you cross-check that over the past 3 quarters. I think DoorDash is going to be just fine. So keep those levels I mentioned earlier. And if anything, this could be a good discount on the stock where it's at now. But not financial advice, but have enough allocation to be able to add at these different levels. So, I'd say upper 160s, probably S1, and then S2, like in the 150s, maybe, and that's assuming it even gets down there. It might not even go down there, but, just, you got to be smart and you don't put everything all in on the first entry, and just be prepared to play some defense and maybe add in strategically. But I think DoorDash overall is going to be just fine. So maybe this could be a little bit looked at as a little bit of a discount on the stock price right now, but just be prepared to play some defense, because it obviously is, big red candle today. This very well could be followed up with another red candle tomorrow. So maybe just wait for the selling to slow down a little bit, and then maybe that could be a signal, hey, now maybe we can ride the wave back up, right? So that's the deal with that. Before I end the stream, I just wanted to go over to Trader's Paradise again real quickly. So again, this is our second in-person event we're doing. Last year, it was in Delray Beach. It was a lot of fun. I live in Florida, so I just drove over, right, in my truck. I met everyone in Delray Beach, and we did live trading every day, released some new trading strategies, released a new indicator, all kinds of stuff. It was such a blast. Went to some private VIP dinners with everyone, had some just behind closed door discussions with everyone. It was just a beautiful thing. So this year it's in Chicago, June 9th through the 12th. It's a 4-day event. If you look in the link of the description of the stream we're on right now, you'll see a link to Trader's Paradise 2025. Once you click that, it will take you right to the page I'm on right now. And there's 3 different tickets to choose from. So it's a 4-day event. It's going to be at the Hyatt Regency in Chicago. So pretty nice hotel. Excited to have a stay there. And a little bit about the event: live trading every day at market open. So bring your laptops, get ready to trade right alongside with us. It's going to be interactive workshops, live master classes on advanced options. That's basically what I do. I do the advanced options, multi-leg trades, iron condors, credit spreads, debit spreads, diagonal spreads, diagonal calendar spreads, that kind of thing. Run a ton of the wheel strategy. So, if you're sick of the rat race of trying to day trade every day, you're looking for something a little more consistent. It is slower pace, so it's not too exciting, but it's very consistent and been profitable for many, many years for me. But yeah, just join the Discord, tag me in the chat. I'll come say hello. But anyways, I'll be probably that'll be my session in Chicago as the advanced options. I'll be running that. And then the owner of the company, Big Quench, his name's Austin. He will be there in person to show everyone his advanced range trading strategy. He's made a ton of money over the years using it. Looking forward to sitting in on that. Shai Balor, pretty big presence on Twitter, and he's been on some financial media, major financial media outlets as well. I believe he was on Fox News, maybe CNBC and stuff like that. But Shai's going to be there. He's also part of the PB trading family. And he's going to do an AI and text-based deep dive, basically insights on where institutions are going to be putting their money and placing their bets from now until the end of 2025. Can't wait to sit in on that session. And also another kind of famous person, Lou Bassanisi. I know, for the savvy investors out there, I'm sure you've seen him on all the Fox News, CNBC, major financial media outlets. Lou Bassanisi is going to be there in person, and his whole session during the event is how to develop as an investor. So I can't wait to sit in on that. And we're also releasing a new Trading View indicator. There's 3 tickets to choose from. The bronze ticket, you get 2 days of the event. The silver ticket, you get 3 days of the event. And the gold ticket gets you all 4 days. And the gold ticket also comes with the private VIP dinners. Okay, so the biggest, of course, the biggest insights happen behind closed doors, right? So you're going to be able to sit down with top traders, speakers, all the staff and the coaches, and have some pretty high level discussions over dinner. That's going to be great. And then with the gold ticket, you get the deep dive mentorship sessions and basically access to everything at the 4-day event. Again, the bronze and silver ticket. Bronze ticket's only 2 days of the event. Silver ticket's only 3 days. The bronze and silver tickets are also 40% off right now, so you can save a bunch of money. Once you get the ticket, if you decide you want to come and meet everyone and attend this conference, make sure to call the Hyatt Regency right after you get your ticket, because we blocked off 50 hotel rooms. They're all going to be discounted. So as soon as you get your ticket, get a hold of the Hyatt Regency. Again, the link's in the description of this stream we're on now, Traders Paradise 2025. You'll see the hotel information right here, the Hyatt Regency in Chicago. So after you get your ticket, call them. Make sure you get one of the discounted hotel rooms in our, like I said, we blocked off 50 rooms. Not sure how long those rooms are going to last, because we've already sold quite a few tickets. So, but yeah, if you have any questions, just join the Discord, tag us in the chat. You can tag me in the chat. I go by the Swinging Bull. I'll come say hello. And if you do end up buying a ticket for Traders Paradise in Chicago, I definitely look forward to meeting you. It's going to be an awesome event, and I just can't wait. But other than that, we got our reactions for the earnings. Just another quick recap about the earnings. ARM ticker symbol ARM. I can't talk today. ARM Holdings. Let me go back to intraday chart. They had a negative reaction. They lowered guidance, unfortunately, and that's just, like I said, I don't care if you beat EPS by a mile and smashed revenue. You lower your guidance, you're going to get this reaction. Okay, that's just how it goes. So wait for a bottom to form, wait for some higher lows to start forming. Maybe we can ride the wave back up. Okay, but not until the selling slows down, or stops, or at least slows down. Okay. IONQ had a positive reaction. They showed that they have a fast track of expanding their business. They're going to be acquiring other businesses. They're showing lots of growth. Investors are loving it. Had an initial positive reaction. It has pulled back a little bit, but nonetheless, it is up 2% in after hours right now. ARM is down about 9%, $11 a share. Let's go to Carvana and just recap that one real quick. They had an initial negative reaction. Looks like they're starting to bottom though, doesn't it? So you can probably draw a Fibonacci on this. Just get some quick levels. It's not rocket science. Go from the high down to the low. It's already retraced 25%, which was around 238.50, and it's starting to break additional levels. The golden ratio is around 251.50. If it gets back above the golden ratio, then this selling, it'll be like it never happened. It should come up back to baseline, but we'll see. Just keep your eyes on it. Same thing with this. Make sure the higher lows are printing if you're a bull, and you should be just fine, okay? But yeah, other than that, I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. Today's Wednesday. I will be back tomorrow with another earnings stream. And tomorrow, let me just scroll down over here on the right. Tomorrow is going to be a fun one. We got Coinbase reporting. We got Net reporting. I've been trading Net with diagonal calendar spread since last year and just making great money on Net. It's a great software company. Not financial advice, but check out Net, N-E-T. Software companies are going to do good for the rest of this year, I think. Check out Net. That's just a little Easter egg for everyone, I suppose. But I'm looking forward to seeing Net's earnings. I think they're going to continue to outperform. It's a great software company. I love it. And then Coinbase is reporting. Also, Mara, if anyone's been following Mara, they're another crypto miner. They report tomorrow before the market open, I think around 5 o'clock in the morning or something like that. So tomorrow's earnings are going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern for the next set of earnings. But I hope everyone enjoyed. And if you're looking for a new home, join the Discord. You can even join the free section. Don't even cost nothing. Tag me in the chat. I'll come say hello. We could chat a little bit and then go from there. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great night, and I'll see everyone in the next stream. Cheers.